Well, according to the World Health Organization, over 90 million Indians, or 7.5% of the population, suffer from mental health issues. A study published in Lancet in December 2019 titled "The Burden of Mental Disorders Across the States of India, the Global Burden of Disease Studies 1990-2017" also highlights the scale of the challenge. Mental health issues are among the leading causes of non-fatal disease burden in India. 1 in every 7 Indian was affected by mental health issues in 2017. The proportional contribution of mental health to the total disease burden has also doubled since 1990, and suicide was the leading cause of deaths among young people aged 15 to 39 in 2016. Bollywood actor Sushant Singh Rajput's tragic death has triggered a much-needed conversation on mental health in India. The pandemic also doesn't seem to be helping, playing on the minds of lakhs of people across this country and causing stress. In this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze how to maintain proper mental health. Joining me on the program today are Anand Chulani, lifestyle coach and motivational speaker; Dr. Ashok Sharma, psychiatrist, Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences; and Kumkum Jagdish, psychologist. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Kumkum Jagdish, I'd like to begin the program with you first. Let's first try and analyze and talk about an issue, this issue of mental health that is not taken very seriously, especially in our country by the multitudes of people. Why is that so?
So, mental health has a lot of stigma attached to it. People think mental health is something of a taboo and something that they're ashamed of, which is actually not the case. Mental health is like any other, health concern. Let it be even a headache or a fever. What do? You go to a doctor, you take medications, you become all right. Same way with mental health also. But the thing is, people don't have that awareness, and because there is a lack of awareness of what is mental health and the importance of mental health, there is a lot of stigma attached to it, because of which it tends to get neglected, and so people are not able to talk about what their health problems are, what their mental health concerns are. And that is why you see that mental health is a lot of people are now suffering from mental health, and that is why people are people are dying of suicide, or harming themselves, self-harm, or there are relationship issues because nobody is addressing it.
Okay, all right. Taking the discussion forward now, Dr. Sharma.
Yeah.
The pandemic now also seems to be causing a different type of a problem, that of a mental health hazard.
Yeah, actually you raised a very valid question or valid issue. That what happens, as my previous speaker was telling, the mental health. You see, we have number of systems in our physical body like heart, respiration, excretion, and all these things. We do give a lot of importance to functioning of these organs, but in the process we fail that how these functioning properly, making us to work, to utilize ourselves. So 3 things I would like to highlight. One is thinking, another are the feelings. When these 2 things they combine, they give a output that's called behavior. Now coming to the pandemic itself, how people are thinking about it, how people are feeling about these things, and with the result people are coming out with a behavior. So you must be finding that a lot of people, they are just rushing towards medicines only. A lot of people, they are rushing towards preventive measures only. But what happens that in the process they are just stressing themselves, not able to give a logical thought to these things. Once you're not thinking logically, how can you feel logically? So what happens these days, a new term came into the picture that's called psychoneuroimmunology. Means once you are stressed up biologically, definitely you are stressed up psychologically also. And in the process, what happens, your immune system goes into a compromise. So once you're already in a compromised state of immune system, and a thing which is entering to your body further is a threat to your immune system, so definitely you're going to have an overwhelming response. And depending upon your personality, the person, how you are perceiving things which are being delivered all over the medias and newspapers and all those things. So everybody absorbing those things in their own manner. So pandemic is there, but how we are tackling that thing. And WHO in its every press conference, they highlight always the mental health issues, mental health issues, mental health issues. Because if you're saying that observe social distancing, do hand hygiene and all that, you have to have a good mental health to cooperate with all those things. So just rushing towards medicine is showing nothing but your personality weaknesses. So in my view, mental health is the prime. So what I can say, every disease first attacks your psyche. It comes to your mind, then it percolates. And where it resides wherever you have a weak sense organs or the somatic organs. So pandemic is nothing but our most cooperative to fight about that thing is just try to have a good thinking, logical thinking, so that you can have a logical feeling and thereby you start behaving in a logical manner. That is what I would like to share with you.
Okay, logical thinking and positive thinking is what we need to have proper mental health, and only with the proper mental health can everything else fall in place, is what Dr. Sharma is suggesting. All right, let me go across to Anand Tulani now. As far as the West is concerned, Anand, there are several people who go and seek help, who go to counselors. They are easily available, easily approachable, and people go out and actually meet them. It's also a big business in the West, if you can call it that, but not so in India. Why is that so, do you think?
Well, I think a couple of things. I think first, when I came to India, many years ago, I've been in India now for over 10 years. I've been doing what I've been doing as an expert in mental and emotional strength for about 15 years now. And I started in the US. I started in America. And I think the biggest difference is the following. I think people there look at it in terms of mental health means I have an issue, which means I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to become better. I think in India at times, and it's changing, is when I first came to India 10 years ago, it's completely different to what it is now. I think back then it was very much about there's something wrong with you. There's an issue. And I think now what it is people realizing that it's actually, just like we take care of our physical health, our mental health is equally important. I do a lot of work with children, and I believe that it starts in education, because we're all trained to be focused on achievement and achievement and achievement. And I'm a success coach, and I work with a lot of actors. I work with IPL cricketers, and I'll tell you the pressure of external success. We confuse success with happiness, and we've been all taught that if we achieve success, we'll feel good about ourselves. But that doesn't work, because you can achieve. You can achieve awesome. I've met someone. I interviewed Bindra, the shooter, for my book, and I'll tell you something. He told me the day after he won the gold medal, the Olympics, he's sitting there with the gold medal and he's depressed. So he's achieved his goal. Well, why isn't he happy with himself? Well, he discovered in his own journey that you can actually, the internal game is as important as the external game. And we need to train our children and teach our children, if we're going to achieve Modi ji's vision and be a nation of champions, that the internal game is as important. And I would reframe mental health as not as something wrong with you, but as a necessity, as an essential part of success, as an essential part of life, as the foundation of achievement, rather than an add-on.
Absolutely. All right. Taking the discussion forward now, Kumkum Jagdish, what are some of the telltale signs, that someone is going through stress, someone is going through depression, or someone is going through something up here and is not all right?
Okay, so the greatest telltale sign is you will notice there's a change in their behavior of the person. Also, a person, may sleep a lot or may not sleep at all, or the diet of the person may change. You may notice the person is putting on weight or losing weight. Okay, there will be a lot of irritability, anger. The person becomes very snappy, moody, may not be able to achieve whatever they have set for the day, the goals that they have set for the day. There may be lack of energy, a lot of negative thoughts negative thoughts about self, negative thoughts about the world around them, too much of, these negative feelings and thoughts are sort of hooked to the person. It is very difficult for them to get rid of this negativity. So if you see somebody who suddenly changed in their behavior, somebody who is not, who they usually are, or somebody who's snapping a lot, getting angry, not completing their targets for the day, they're losing their concentration, lack of memory. So all these things are telltale signs for any, mental health problem.
All right. Dr. Sharma, so what
Yeah.
are the various types of stress and what are the different types of mental problems that someone is going through?
Yeah. You see, first of all, try to be, go very, very basic. What is stress? Anything can be stress for me. But what matters is my appraisal, how I am taking it. So stress is nothing, which is anything which tries to disturb my physiological and psychological functioning. Is a stress for me. And these stressors can be anything. Like my Dr. Chutani, I'm just forgetting his name, but he has elicited a very good idea that we have to teach our children. You see, if you have to learn a motor car, you go to a school. If you have to do anything, you go to a school. But for mental health, you don't go to anybody. You feel as if I'm competent enough. My elders in my family, they feel that I'm competent enough and I can guide these children in every way. So, which is not so in the modern era, particularly. So, what is stress? Stress is anything. It could be anything, right from family to loss or job or failing in the exam or these things. But in the process, what are we putting at risk to at the cost of what? So, stressors can be anything. It could be biological, it could be psychological, and all those things. But moreover, what is that particular thing making me to suffer? And what is my behavior? As Dr. Kumkum was saying, what is my behavior? These are the very, very slow onset changing behaviors. And one of them is frustration. Something is blocking my desired behavior. And I'm not able to control those things. It could be internal, it could be external also. So where the external factors are coming in my way, suppose I'm driving a car, I'm getting late and I'm getting frustrated. Somebody is ill in my family, elderly people are ill in my family, but I'm not able to enjoy the other things also. Frustration. And how I'm coming out of those frustration is my stressor and my personal capabilities. Another thing is that we have to take decision. Number of times, life is nothing but a combination of different challenges and obstacles, isn't it? When you're driving a car, number of things are coming in my way and I'm using 3 tools, clutch, brake and accelerators to drive or overcome those obstacles and all that. And I'm adjusting my speed. I'm enhancing my speed and I'm doing a very smooth drive. So how we are overcoming those obstacles and challenges? The first outcome is frustration. Then the conflicts means you have to take a very hard decision. Third thing is pressure. You have to attain certain goals. Like suppose you're working, you're a student and you have to complete your course. You're working somewhere and you have to do certain tasks to be done. We are talking and we are just trying to wind up this program in a particular time frame of time. It's a pressure on us and you have got constraints. Sir, please. So frustration, conflict and pressure. These are the 3 types of outputs which we definitely go. Now, what happens during these processes when I'm frustrated, I'm in a conflict, I'm in a pressure, what is happening? My biological body is trying to cope up with the stress. It has enhanced, it has initiated certain processes. Suppose it's a short-term stress. My breathing goes high, my heart rate is going high, and my digestion getting slowed down, and all those things. But suppose these things, they become in my routine. Daily I'm in a conflict. Daily I'm in a frustration, daily I'm in a pressure, then that enhanced or initiated process is not going to be suppressed. Now what happens? The body, the mind is so clever, it transfers its stress to the organs.
I think you summed it all up in those 3 or 4 minutes there about what stress is and how to deal with stress is concerned. But I'm going to go back to this point that both of you have made, both you and Mr. Anand Chulani, about success and how achieving success is not the end of it all, because there are things that are there beyond success as well. And this particular aspect, Anand, I'd like to take up with you of
Yes.
how those whom we perceive to be successful and those whom we perceive to be living good or happy lives seem to be the most susceptible. And if you look at the number of people that have come out over the last couple of days to speak about their problems, it shows you the magnitude of the problem at hand.
Absolutely, right? And let's go back to what my colleague had said about stress, right? To me, there are two forms of stress. There's external stress, and then there's internal stress. And to me, external stress is actually good, because if you have big dreams, big goals, life is not going to hand it you on a plate. There is challenges, there's stress in getting to your goal. That's external stress. But internal stress, internal pressure is the issue. And that comes from a stress of, even the word stress is an interesting word. Stress is just an achiever's word for fear. It's fear. But we dress it up and we call it stress. Ultimately, why am I stressed? I'm stressed because we have two primary fears. Our two primary fears are I'm not enough, and our primary fear is that I won't be loved. And we take on these achievements and we think, if I don't achieve this, I don't do this, if I don't get a good mark in a test, if I don't achieve that, then there's something wrong with me. And we confuse achieving success with feeling successful. Success is just a result. But the challenge in the achievers model is that when we achieve success, we feel good about ourselves and we feel successful. But when we don't achieve success, we don't feel good about ourselves and we don't feel successful. But I'll tell you something. So we're going up and down and up and down and up and down. So we're continuously putting internal stress on ourselves. But a champion to me, someone is someone who can master the inner game. If you look at MS Dhoni, when he was there, right, you saw the calmness of him on the field during pressure situations. It's the ability to be calm under pressure. It's the ability to be internally not stressed in that moment of external stress. And people who are famous people, high achievers, they're in the spotlight, right? So everyone's looking at every move of theirs. Everyone's analyzing, how did their movie do? How did this go? How did that go? I'll tell you something. I had the privilege of working with some people who won the World Cup last year in cricket. And everyone thought, if I go on the field, I'll become a champion. And I told them, you don't go on the field to win a trophy to make you feel like a champion. You go out on the field already a champion who's going to win a trophy. And the difference is you feel good about yourself. Feeling good about ourselves is our birthright. And that has to come first, as we've mentioned many times today. And if people think people are the high achievers, that nothing's wrong with them, of course it is. They have big goals and therefore high internal stress. And because they have been trained in the achievers methodology, which is achieve so I can feel good, there's extra pressure in that thing. We need to look for how do we win the internal game. And I think, to me, we need to redefine what success is. Success is not how much money you make. Success is not how many awards you get. Success is not your box office number. Self-worth must come before net worth. And I believe self-worth can actually drive net worth in the right way. And also, we need to expand what success is. I coached someone yesterday who's the CEO of a major company, and his company is not doing great, but he's feeling bad about his life and not feeling successful. Even though he's had a company that's been around for over 50 years, which most companies are not around for, even though he's a great father, even though he's a great husband, there's so many areas of his life he's successful in, but he doesn't see it because he's defined success as just my business success and as a specific area in my life. And sometimes business can be up, sometimes it's down. But where are you? Are you going to be up and down? Are you going to be knocked around? Are you going to be shaken by life? Or are you going to be unshakable? That's the key.
Absolutely. All right. Time now to get closing comments from all my panelists. Starting first with you, Kumkum Jagdish. How do we attain better mental health? That's the big question, really.
Okay. So first thing, all of you must remember that feelings are normal. We are all human beings, and any type of feeling is okay for us to have. Be it being happy or be it being stressed out. Okay, there's nothing wrong in being stressed, but what is important is the way we maintain it, the way we deal with it, or the way we react to a situation. That is very important. Most of the times, all of us know, like even let's say hunger as a feeling. We all feel hungry, but we know what to do. We know how to maintain it. We eat and we are happy about it. But when it comes to, difficult feelings like anger, stress, irritation, we have not been taught what to do about it. So it is important for us to start becoming aware of what our feelings are, becoming aware of what is the stress that we have, and take a pause. Take a pause. Okay, I'm having some sort of a difficult feeling. I'm feeling stressed. Take a pause and then think about, why am I feeling stressed? What is it in the situation that is making me feel so stressed? Then look at what are your thoughts. There are some negative thoughts that are hooking onto you. So what are these thoughts? And try to look for proof against these thoughts. For example, if I'm thinking that, oh no, I'm so lazy, I'm not able to wake up in the morning. Okay, that is a negative thought. And a person who is stressed, these negative thoughts will come to them automatically, automatically. So stop and look at them and look at, okay, I'm not lazy because yesterday I did this. So if I was lazy, I would not have completed these things. So try to look at proof against these negative thoughts. There could also be negative feelings like, irritation, anger, frustration. So look at where these negative feelings are there and name those feelings. And, understand that, yeah, fine, I am feeling these things. This is how I'm feeling right now. It is okay to feel this. Then you can do things like, talking to somebody. Especially in India, we don't talk to people around us, even our own relatives. We feel very shy to express ourselves. So stop feeling shy and do express yourself and do talk to people around you. Okay. And if somebody is talking to us and if somebody is trying to explain to us what they are feeling, we should listen to them. Listen to them, in a very kind manner. Don't be judgmental. Be empathetic towards what they are saying. A lot of time what happens is when we are trying to tell somebody that, what, I'm feeling like this today, they will put us down. You're just, seeking attention. Just get up, start your work. So stop being judgmental if somebody is trying to talk to you about their feelings. That will also make people, want to talk and, seek help. A lot of times, difficulties arise because we are not seeking help. And then there are many techniques like, grounding techniques, meditation, yoga, just exercising. All these will help us maintain that balance, bring that balance back into us and calm us down. Grounding technique is something that we can all follow, where you are, if you're really feeling stressed or anxious, you are not able to think properly. So one thing that you can immediately do is stop. Okay, put your feet to the ground, either sit or stand. Then just look around, look for, 5 things that you can see around you. Then you can look for 4 things that you can touch. Okay, maybe your fingers, maybe your clothes or the chair that you're sitting on. Touch it, feel it. Then look at 3 smells that you can, smell immediately. Hear at least 2 sounds in your environment. And taste something in your mouth. So all this will bring you back to the present and stop all those negative thoughts or those feelings that is making you unstable. And once you are grounded, you can start your breathing and meditation. And the next part would be planning how to deal with your stress or talking to someone.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Kumkum, for those grounding techniques. I'm sure they'll come in useful and handy to several people who are watching. All right, very briefly, Dr. Sharma, I've got limited time on the program. So how do we deal with someone who's going through stress, and when do we know that that person needs medical intervention?
You see, if the person is not able to take care of on his own, we are developing a sense. But prior to that, I will like to say that life is just a pendulum. So let this pendulum roll. Not allow this pendulum to stagnate or either descend or descend. And what sir was saying, that what for are we dressing? So don't give your regulator of your emotions into the other's hand. Don't look for others' approval. I am fine. If I'm not able to keep this challenge, it's okay. If I'm not able to overcome this obstacle, it's okay. Heaven is not going to fall. So that is one thing. Another thing which I have seen with number of patients, that they don't know how to say no. My point is, learn to say no instead of saying yes to yourself and to the others. If something is going out of your capacity, there is no harm in saying no, because otherwise you are inviting stress to yourself. Again, going back to the PNI, psycho, neuro, immuno, you are inviting problem. Go to your health practitioner, get your strengths analyzed.
Sure.
Don't give anything weightage to your negativities. Just enhance your positivities. As sir said, there everybody has got negativity. So keep this pendulum rolling. Try learn how to say no. And third thing, whenever you are feeling helpless and hopeless, which is generating a low self-esteem, so just go to your practitioner. That look, I am losing my hopes. I am not feeling hopeful. I am feeling very low. And my self-esteem, these things are affecting. Go to your health professional. That's it.
Okay, all right. And Anand, please close the show for us with a quick concluding remark on how to motivate people to speak up and seek help.
Yes, well, first of all, two things. I don't believe in the word motivation. You know, people call me a motivation speaker all the time. I believe motivation is like a nice warm bath. You feel good for an hour and you forget it an hour later. Activation, I believe, is what it is, you know, because a motivation requires someone from the outside to make you feel good about yourself. Activation is making you feel good about yourself. And I believe the thing is right now, we have to be, I think, two things. One is we have to be present. Most people today are not present. We're so on the phone. We're pulled by technology. You know, Dr. Kumkum mentioned signs, but I won't even see signs in myself or other people if I'm not even present. And the grounding technique is a great technique for that. Another technique for that is just to hold your left wrist. And you want to try it at home, you can do it right now. Just hold your left wrist and just take deep breaths in and out. And as you're doing that, just say three words, just peace, peace, peace. Or shanti, shanti, shanti. And as you're doing that, breathing in, breathing out, holding the left wrist and doing that, focus on a happy memory. And then keep doing it, and then focus on a happy future memory. I think one of the things that's so important right now is we cannot see our future because of this pandemic. And here's the thing, we have to create that future because the mind, it's real for the mind. If the mind can't see, I believe we've all been taught, see it, then you'll believe it. But I think it's the wrong way around. You have to believe it, then you'll see it. You have to create a picture in your mind that gives it hope, that gives it something to look forward to. You have to create what life will look like post this. And remember one thing, if I can give you three simple things that affect you, a little acronym I call BMW. First is your body, then is your mind, and then is your words. So if I'm sitting like this and I'm sitting down, I'm going to feel bad about how I'm feeling. If most people today are not moving, I believe emotion comes from motion. Even if you're stuck at home, move your body in some way. The other is your mind. Where your focus goes, your energy will flow. And if you focus on asking right questions or right focus, you will. If you ask right now, like for example, I never ask myself, when will this end? I ask myself every day, what am I grateful for? A different question affects how you feel. And finally, your words. If you use what my team and I don't even use the word self-isolation. We call it self-growth. We call it self-care time, self-love time, self-appreciation time, self-worth time, self-reflection time. The words you say affect how you feel. If you walk around saying, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, what are you going to feel? Stressed. So change the words and the tonality and you'll change how you feel.
Okay. All right. On that note, then I'll call it a wrap on this edition of The Big Picture. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and putting things into perspective for us. What's coming out of this discussion is that we need to change our mindset. We need to change our tone and the words that we think of in our minds as well. And we need to redefine what success means. Greater the goals, greater the pressure, and greater the stress is what the panelists are suggesting. Don't be bogged down if you don't achieve any of your goals.